Good afternoon, my plant friends. This is Linda with Linda Sue Plants for you. I'm going to bring you a real short video here, but it's something that I know other people have struggled with, so I thought before I do this I'm going to just record it. This is my Peace Lilly. It's also called Spathiphyllum. I think that's how you pronounce it. This was originally from my father's wake when he passed away, and it was very big and wide and beautiful, and I got it home, and well, let's just say I was busy with Mom after that, and it got neglected, I think, a little bit, but you know, I was throwing water at it but not really paying much attention to anything at that time in my life. So like I said, it got a little neglected, and I almost lost it. And in my one of my very first videos that I did, and I think it's probably going on 2 years now, close to it anyway. I was begging for help from the plant community because I was down to about 5 or 6, 7 leaves, something like that. And they were, some of them were black. I've since come to know that that probably was a fungus. And I almost lost this plant. I just kept cutting off the leaves that were turning black, and then I was watching a video with, oh darn, I can't remember her name. Her channel was called My Small Space. A sweet gal. And anyway, she had a Peace Lilly like this, and she was having the same problem. And someone told her to use Epsom salt because it was a magnesium deficiency. And so she did. And I believe she did get good results from that, and that's what prompted me to try it on mine. Well, I did, and lo and behold, it came back to life, and it's been growing ever since. It's getting very full in the middle, but this plant does not like to be repotted, so I'm trying to hold off until I know it's completely root bound before I have to actually repot it. And these can stand to be root bound too. They don't. It doesn't hurt them like it does some plants. One of the things I kept reading about was that it didn't need very bright light. Well, that is not the case with mine, because that was another issue I had. And when I moved it into a bright light, it started to flourish. So I'm not sure. I know we all have different little idiosyncrasies when it comes to our plants. Some things work for some people and not for others, and I don't pretend to have the answers for everyone, and I certainly don't, you know, fault anyone for having different information than me, because that might be what works in their home, in their environment. But for me, this plant needed to be in bright light, and it has been. It's under a equal to 100 watt, normal 100 watt bulb, an incandescent bulb. But it is a LED, and I believe it's 1600 lumens. And I have that about 1.5 foot to 2 feet away from this plant. I kind of move that light around. It's on a tall old baker's rack, and this is kind of in the middle, and as you can see, it's very, very healthy, with the one exception. And I have done this once in the past, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this. I tried to look through the lens to see, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but what's happening here is the leaves are getting, the veins of the leaves are getting dark green, and the rest of the leaves are getting pale. And eventually they will just be a real light, very, very light green, almost yellow, and then you'll have these dark veins running through. Well, I have learned over the years that that is a sure sign of, well, it can be a sign of many things, but it was a sure sign of the magnesium deficiency. So I'm getting ready to treat this, but I wanted you to see before I did that, and like I said, I'm really hoping you can see the difference in the leaves. And how I'm going to do it is, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. I'm going to cut that in half, and I believe I did last time to 1 tablespoon, because I don't want to take a chance on overdoing. You can always add more later, but I believe I did last time, I did 1 tablespoon per gallon of distilled water, and I just used that water to water this plant. I did it 3 times, and that was probably over about a 6-week period. This plant gets watered about every week and a half to 2 weeks. And like I said, it's growing really beautifully, but I can see that that fading in the leaves is starting again. There's a name for that, and I should have looked that up before I recorded this. I forget what it's called, but when you water with that Epsom salt, it puts magnesium and sulfur back into the soil, and it will green up these leaves eventually. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll come back with this with an update for you at a later date. But I just want you to see how beautiful this plant turned out. For those of you that saw her way back when, you'll be really happy to know that, you know, she's really come a long way. I'm still waiting for the leaves to get big, huge, like they were when I brought it home. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm going to continue to take care of this and hope for the best. Like I said, this was from my dad's wake, and it has a lot of sentimental value to me, obviously. The other thing I want to touch on is the fact that I only use distilled water on here. And I know I've heard people say that that's not good because the distilled water doesn't have any minerals or vitamins or anything in it. And I understand that, and I think that might be why I'm having to add the magnesium. But I'm okay with that because I was losing my calatheas left and right until I started using distilled water. So because I use distilled water, I believe that is why I have that deficiency. So, like I said, the only way to fix it is to put the, well, it's not the only way. There's other products. I know someone had mentioned a product called CalMag. I don't know what that is or where to get it or anything, but I do know there's other products out there. But this is cheap. It's Epsom salt. You can buy it at the drugstore or the big box stores. It's very cheap. It comes in a bag or a carton, and it lasts forever. And I'm just going to put like I said, 1 tablespoon per my gallon of water, and water it thoroughly, and then I let it dry out. So I hope that helps you if anybody else is struggling with that same problem. Oh, and the other plant I'm going to use this on is my Pyalea peperomoides. I've been having trouble with her too, and I think it's the same issue because I'm watering her the way she has always been watered, but her leaves are starting to get, gosh, I wish I could think of the name of what I'm trying to say here, but here's a, see, I'm going to see if I can get a little closer. I've got my camera on a tripod, so I'm sorry for the jiggling here, but there, I think you can see it a little better now. Do you see how the leaves they're light green, but then the veining part is dark green. That's exactly what happened last time. And once I added that magnesium to the water, it was gone within, I don't know, a week or two. It didn't take long to fix itself. So I hope that might have helped somebody. And if anybody has anything to add to this method, or if you've had experience yourself using the Epsom salt, please feel free to comment down below. And if this was informative and you want to see more videos like this, give me a thumbs up. That would be great. I'd very much appreciate it. Alright, that'll be it for today. I'm hoping to bring you another video tomorrow. And until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.